So let's begin. Here I'm going to share some videos from my previous students. So you're going to watch it and you're going to understand how the whole project gonna go, okay? First, let's start with some videos and just see that how my previous students, they did the task. There are like so many, but like, let me start with Christina, because like, yes. She actually did the project on a child and she also did conservation task. Um, Back then, I was just asking students to upload the video on YouTube and TikTok. She did on TikTok, also YouTube, but I do have the TikTok here, which we're gonna watch it. But you just need to just upload it on YouTube. But let's watch it.
I'm Christina. I'm a senior at Georgia State University, and I'm in Professor Armida Gobadi's developmental psychology class.
So as you can see that she started by a sweet introduction of herself. She's just talking about herself, then she's gonna introduce the child.
This is Olivia. She's 6 years old, and today we're going to be doing a few conservation tasks of mass, numbers, and weight.
Okay. So back then, in my previous classes, I was asking students to do all three conservation tasks, but now I'm just only asking you to do one of them. Okay. But she has done like a lot. She has done like all three. You don't need to do that.
Okay, Olivia, here's 2 balls of Play-Doh. Do they look the same to you? Like they have the same amount?
Yes.
Exactly. That's what we want. Children, they have to confirm if the Play-Doh are similar.
Okay, and now what about now? Do they have the same amount or does one have more? What do you think?
Is flat.
But do they have the same amount of Play-Doh or do they have different amounts of Play-Doh?
They have the same amount of Play-Doh.
They still have the same amount?
Yes.
Okay, good job.
Okay. So there are like a couple of points that I want you to pay attention. Number one is the angle of the video. My student Christina, she really knew that she has to show us hands and Play-Doh because this is like the main part of the video. So she put the camera on top of her hands and the child's hand instead of just focusing on their face, which is, great ideas. Which is a great idea. And as you can see here, we could just see that, for example, there are like some changes here, but still we could hear how the child gonna answer. Another point that I want you to pay attention is the first time when she was asking the question, the child's answer, was just a bit different. And it wasn't like that much relevant to Christina's question. So she was asking clarifying question again to just get the answer from the child and just understand whether the child actually reached the conservation or not, whether the child can understand the concept or not. And that is necessity for your experiment. Let's just move ahead and just, watch the rest of the video because she actually, Christina, she would do like the whole experiment at one time, which you can watch it. But
Well,
Okay, that's good.
so can you see that there is a conclusion page? Some students actually, they're gonna talk here, like they're gonna say that, okay, at the end of the day, this is the conclusion of my study, but she only put one slide and she closed the video like this, and that is totally fine. Okay, you can do the same. Now let's watch another video. This is another student of mine.
Conservation project. It's Brett Patel. I'm a senior at Georgia State University, and I'm a psychology major. The purpose of the project was to see how and when the concept of conservation, specifically number, mass, and weight, develops in children between 5 and 10 years of age. The conservation task uses Play-Doh and pennies. The subject of the task will be my 8-year-old cousin. She does not have any developmental disorder.
There are like 2 great points so far. Number one, he actually put he actually put a slide here specifically for the child. So now we know that this kid, she is 8-year-old and she's a girl, and there is no developmental disorder here. That is amazing. Another point is the duration, the period of the video. It is less than 2. So that's actually hitting the goal of the final project, because I need videos that are roughly 2 minutes.
Do these two look like they're the same amount? Yes? And why do you say that?
Because they're almost the same type size.
I'm gonna switch this one like this.
So look at this one, how creative he is. He knew that we would not have a good understanding or a good exposure to Play-Doh. So he actually cut a slide, created another slide here in which only about the Play-Doh and the differences that's gonna be made down the road. For example, now we can just see that, oh, he's making Play-Doh like this from here, but otherwise from the angle of the video, we could not see that.
Now are they the same amount? Are they? Yes.
So do you see that? The child said no, but then said yes.
or no?
Yes.
Yes.
It's the same ball.
Are there the same number of pennies in this row?
So he gave that a space to the kid to elaborate on her answer, because like the answer, it was just kind of conflicting, like they were like contradicting each other, like it was a no, then it was a yes. So he paused and he let them to just, you know, explain their answer. In his observation, like the documentation of the video that he submitted on iCollege, he literally said that, yes, I saw that, and then this happened. Like he also elaborated on the kids' mentality, so I could just, you know, understand the situation a bit better.
That there are in this row? Okay, how about now? So why are they the same?
They're the same because like when you have them together, it was the same amount that, and then you just spread them out.
How about,
Did you see that? That was the kid's rationale. So he would just keep asking questions, so we could just understanding the child's reasoning. We would just make sure that the child is not pleasing us, because sometimes children, they love encouragement. So based on your tone, which you have to control it, they're gonna do their best to give us the answer that we want, and they can see that from our face because they are super smart. They literally know that what we want from them, and we shouldn't give that to them. Okay, so keep that in your mind.
is it the same in each one? Yes? And why is that?
You just added 2 to each.
And now,
Same.
same? Okay. Do these two bowls weigh the same?
So this is like conservation of mass.
How about now?
Same.
Same? And why is that?
Because you just brought this one into the bottom.
After completing the conservation.
Can you see that at the end, he does have a conclusion page again, and he's just talking about his own understanding of the whole project based on the specific participant that he had, and he's gonna close the whole project.
I have concluded that Unvi is currently in the concrete operational stage of Piaget's
So that is actually the stage of the child.
stages of cognitive development, and that she understands the concept of decentration and conservation.
Great job. Okay. So now let's watch another one. This is on television aggression. You can just see that I love Super Bowl. But this is about television aggression. And my student, she actually chose different programs, and now she's talking about each of them.
It just focuses on the educational content and it's very positive. This episode focuses on themes of friendship, empathy, and problem solving. Characters like Elmo and his friends engage in positive interactions, demonstrating the importance of kindness and cooperations.
Look at the graphics that she's just, you know, using in her video to just make it more understanding.
So I would say this is very kid friendly, and any kid should be able to watch the show without any parental guidance or anything like that. So yeah, I would say thumbs up to the show. This is very kid friendly, 100% for kids.
Can you hear like the way she's explaining? Just, very understanding in simple word, just saying that thumbs up. She's not using like fancy words here to confuse parents, because not every parent out there, they are coming from a great educational level. So and the whole aim of this project is making the science more accessible for everyone out there. So she's just trying to just use everyday words to make her science understandable. And she says that, okay, she specifically approves Sesame Street. So
Okay, for the second TV show, I did no other than SpongeBob SquarePants. The episode I did was the Mermaid and Barnacle Boy episode. I would say for this episode in particular, it did have 3 occurrences of aggression. For example, when SpongeBob and Patrick have antics causing physical mishaps. It also did have like verbal teasing. So that was a rational aggression occurrence.
can you see that she does have a great understanding of different types of aggression, and she is showing off that. Like whenever you are watching the video, I mean, I as her professor, I would just understand that she knows what she's talking about, because she could just define different type of aggression in her video. So I would believe her that she says that there are going to be 3 types of aggression, 3 occurrences of aggression in her video. Yet I'm going to go back and check her documentation and match them to just make sure that, okay, it goes with that specific episode.
The physical aggression in this episode is primarily for comedic effect with no serious consequences. The relation aggression, such as teasing, is mild and often resolved quickly. So I would say it's pretty kid friendly. I wouldn't recommend a kid acting on everything that these characters do in this show. But besides that, thumbs up. Not too. I personally love this show as well. So for the third show, I did Modern Family, and I did the pilot episode to start off with. I would say it has 5 occurrences of rational aggression.
Can you see that when we are shifting from children's show to more adult shows, especially sitcoms? I mean, sitcoms, they are just okay. They are not like as bad as, like, let's say Game of Thrones or like reality shows or something like that. But when we are shifting from like the first one to this one to sitcom, we can just see that the number of aggressive behavior on TV gonna increase as well.
A relational aggression, I'm sorry, such as sarcastic remarks, passive aggressive behavior, also has verbal aggression as well, with 2 occurrences, arguments between family members. The relational and verbal aggression in Modern Family reflects real life family and dynamics, and often serves to highlight the comedic elements of misunderstandings and conflicts within the family. So I will not say that this is kid friendly. Honestly, I'm not going to say a kid can't watch this, but I would say parental guidance is definitely advised. There's a lot of dirty jokes. For the last show I watched, I did.
Can you see that? Like, I love her conclusion and the way she has like her own way to just make us understand that, okay, she believes that it's good, but it's not the best. And like parents, they have to just sit there and, do like some sort of supervision on that show.
Did The Amazing World of Gumball. The episode I watched was called The Job. I would say that The Amazing World of Gumball does have physical aggression, 4 occurrences. For example, the slapstick humor and cartoon violence. It also has relational aggression. So it also has 3 occurrences. It has a sibling rivalry, it has teasing. The physical and relational aggression is often depicted humorously with exaggerated actions and minimum consequences. So I will say the show is kid friendly because I myself did actually watch the show a lot growing up. Obviously it does have a little bit of jokes that go too far, but I feel like a kid could watch this and not completely act just like the characters. I don't think you need parental guidance at all for this show. So very good show.
Okay, great. That was an amazing review of the project for a student, but there were like a couple of points here. First of all, it didn't have, like, the content was amazing. I wouldn't question the content at all. but it didn't have like preview page. It also didn't have like conclusion page. And while she actually talked about like each episode in like different ways, she was just talking about positive and negative points of each cartoon or each show, but she didn't actually conclude the whole project. Like we don't know about bigger picture. We don't know if we should just allow children to watch like different category of shows, or we should stop them. Also, we don't know like where she's standing, like what's her perspective on different shows. However, I give her that based on like separate analysis of each show, she believes that we have to just, go one at a time. For example, for one show, yes, it's just okay if kids, they're just watching that, like binging on a specific cartoon. But for another, which is a sitcom, we have to be extra cautious. But I want you just do a conclusion page here. I do have something else that I feel like, oh, no.
Hello, my name is Noel Ferreira. I am a senior here at Georgia State University, and I am so excited to share with you my analysis on aggression in children and family TV programs.
You know what? Look at the way he's just explaining his own project. Well, we all know that we can just turn on the camera, talk about everything, but he's just so charming. And from what I can see, he does have that kind of bubbly personality that you really want to watch till the end. So, and I also noticed that in my teaching as well, whenever I wasn't in a mood, I did have like a very busy schedule, like my hair is like that. But I have to just, record a video, which most of the time I'm gonna turn off the camera for you not to see my face sometimes when I'm not ready. I can just see that the students, they're not going to be engaged the way I want. Yes, when I'm just present in my videos, when I'm just talking actively, they love the video a lot. So that goes with perfectly with Noel's video. Like he's just charming. And the way they are just dressing here is just amazing. So you really want to watch the video. This is the criteria maybe you should consider.
An educational program,
Look
which
at
is
this.
Paw Patrol, a Saturday morning cartoon, which is SpongeBob SquarePants, a family comedy, Modern Family, and adult programming such as Rick and Morty
Oh, my
that
fave.
children might stumble across. Over aggression, so physical acts like hitting,
Can you see that he does have like the definition here as well as like the example?
and kicking, relational aggression, social harm, like excluding someone, spreading rumors, instrumental aggression. So aggression used as means to achieve a goal. Reactive aggression, more so impulsive aggression in response to a threat or frustration. So now that we have down pack, let me tell you my analysis. So for the educational Paw Patrol, I noticed that it has minimal aggression and it promotes teamwork and problem solving. So for instance, the pups in the show, problem solving is huge. They face conflicts and they quickly find solution. And it sets such a positive example for young viewers. In contrast, SpongeBob SquarePants frequently uses relational and reactive aggression for humorous purposes, of course. For example, Squidward mocks SpongeBob quite a lot during the show. So it kind of teaches kids that teasing is acceptable in friendship. As we move to Modern Family, relational aggression is often portrayed as like a typical family dynamic.
Yeah.
And finally, Rick and Morty is saturated with overt and relational aggression, Rick's outbursts and insults. So it kind of normalizes harmful behaviors. In conclusion, these programs vary significantly in portraying different types of aggression. While shows like Paw Patrol offer positive role models, others like Rick and Morty may enforce negative behaviors. I truly recommend that parents monitor their TV viewing and just prioritize programs with constructive messages. So thank you for watching.
Okay. So I guess wait, don't play.
Save 20 to 60%.
Okay. I guess you got the hint here. Like he was not doing like too much. He was just being himself, but at the same time, He was just trying his best to educate us on his own project, which is amazing. Let me show you another one. Okay, this is actually a good example of someone who doesn't like to use their own voice, also doesn't like to show their face. Okay, look at that. The camera is off. It's just a simple presentation. It's very charming because my students actually, they are trying so hard to do their best, but based on their own personality. I wouldn't judge anyone who doesn't like to show their face or who doesn't like to just, use their voice. So
Observation project. So aggression is behavior that is aimed to cause harm to people or property.
she did a great job here by like putting a slide about specifically the definition of each type of aggression here.
Instrumental aggression is aggressive behavior that's aimed at obtaining something desirable. This can be when a child pushes another child to try and grab their.
Okay, there are like some points that I'm going to tell you, but like let's just move on.
Careful, Pacer. For my educational program, I chose to watch Octonauts. Physical aggression was showed when the eel zapped Pedro because she was scared.
So she actually, like everybody, she chose actually different cartoons and she just analyzing this, which is great. The way she just adding different graphics, amazing. If I were her, I would just definitely consider adding a voice that would be more understandable, or at least just enabling closed captioning. So, which I can do that from here, but the point is the closed captioning is just based on your own voice. So if the original voice doesn't have that quality, closed captioning can be wrong too. So this is like one of the points that I would definitely consider if I would make a video for my students. But otherwise, she did a great job in just having a great conclusion, in just defining different criteria, and I saw that, and I gave her a good grade based on her great effort to do and hit all the criteria that I already mentioned. That another point that I really want you to watch to see actually is the hashtags that she's having here, which they are very important. And I want you to just follow that as well. I also put up some different examples for you on the PowerPoint slide, which I would love for you to just watch them. So this way you would just know what's going on with each video. Again, you can have some questions. You definitely gonna have a lot of questions. Which I want you to just email me and ask, so I could just put all your questions together, and in my next video, which gonna be next week, I can just answer them one by one. If there wouldn't be any question, or they would be like, for example, let's say 2 or 3 questions, I'm probably gonna make an announcement, because like there are like some students, they just prefer to read everything. Another point that I wanted to mention is, so we do have 2 options. For option number 1, which is about children, and you have to do the experiment on a real kid, you have to do the consent form from parents. Like I'm gonna upload the consent form for you. All you need to do is just printing that and ask parents to just read that and sign it. It's gonna be uploaded with your documents on iCollege. But if you are doing the second option, which is television aggression, you don't need to obtain consent form because you are not working with children. I mean, you are working on something about children, but it's not directly related to children. So I would say that's all for now. There's gonna be a quiz for this week based on these 3 lectures, 3 videos, which you have to just, answer the questions. You can reach to me with whatever question that you have, and I'm here to answer. Thank you so much for listening to me, and talk to you soon.